Hi, I'm Gordon, and in this video I'm going to be showing you around this hotel behind me, the ANA Intercontinental in Akasaka, Tokyo. It's part of the IHG group and ranked as a 5-star hotel. And if you were to walk in off the street without a booking, you'd be looking at spending around $400 to $600 per night. Obviously, if you're an IHG member or you book in advance, you might be able to get some discount on that, but it is still a pretty expensive, luxurious hotel, so my expectations are very high. Now, it's a popular choice for business travelers, but also for anyone who wants to treat themselves. So join me inside, let's check out my room and see what you're gonna get for the money. Okay, I'm staying in room 1030. Here we go, let's have a look inside. Wow. Well, my first impression of this place is that this is a huge room. I'm normally used to staying in rooms that can barely fit one of these beds, let alone two. And look, there's even a sofa at the end, a little desk area, somewhere to get your drinks and snacks, a wardrobe. There is a lot of space here, and this is why so many businesses stay in this part of Tokyo. It's that a lot of their visitors are expecting a room like this, more of an American style room. Whereas if you're going to stay in another part of town or on a tighter budget, you're going to have a much smaller room, and I've got a video all about that if you're interested. So let's check out the bathroom first. So the bathroom is in two sections. This first one has got the sink, a large mirror, and a toilet with the usual controls on the side here. This includes a bidet if you want to clean your bum. And in this section, we've got a wet area for the shower, and alongside that, a separate bath. And it is pretty much a full-size bath, quite deep as well. So you're gonna need those handles to get in and out of there. But that is another difference that you'll have with a business hotel versus the kind of normal budget hotel that you might stay in, where you would be stood up in a tray and just having a shower in a very small space. Let's check out the rest of the room. I've just got my bags there in the corner. So here's the wardrobe. Inside we have a couple of dressing gowns, ironing board, plenty of hanging space. There are slippers because that is what you're supposed to be wearing when you're inside your room. Let's have a look inside this drawer. This is where you can do your laundry. And here is a safe, which is very handy if you've got your valuables. Here is where you're going to find some drinks. So we've got an Nespresso compatible coffee machine here and a few capsules to get you started. Inside this drawer, wow, look at this. How many guests are they expecting me to have with all these glasses? We've got a couple of cups and saucers as well. Little drink if you fancy that later on. I suspect that is not included, neither of these snacks. Now this is genuinely useful for me. It is a kettle, obviously, so if you brought your own hot drinks, you can make them here. I often bring my own coffee making stuff, but you could also make something like a cup noodle or a pot noodle there. Save yourself a bit of money if you don't fancy going out. And there's a full fridge here, pretty well stocked. I suspect some of these drinks are going to set you back quite a bit though. The beds, which are the important part, pretty comfortable and a decent size. By the side of the bed, you've got full control over all of your lighting, and we've got a main socket here and also a USB port. A giant TV built into the wall. That to me looks about a 55-inch. Pretty big anyway, that's nice. Little working area. And a chaise longue for relaxing by this window. This view of the other hotels around. And a telephone for when you need to call for room service. Unfortunately, my work schedule meant that I wasn't able to check out the pool or the gym, so I can't show you those. But I did spend some time in the restaurant area where we were able to get all manner of different cuisines, while almost everyone around us was having what looked like tea at the Ritz with some quite elaborate looking cakes on multi-tiered stands. Looks pretty tasty. Fast forward a bit and I've now stayed at the hotel for 4 nights. 2 nights, then checking out to a different location, then 2 more nights in a slightly different room. This one is reversed to the first. It's on the 11th floor, room 1131, but otherwise very similar to my first one. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with this hotel, as indeed you should be for a 5-star hotel at this price. The room was really comfortable. It was large, as you already saw, particularly large for a Japanese style room. The beds were very, very comfortable on the firm side, but that suits me just fine. Very, very quiet inside the room, despite a pretty noisy road just outside behind me. The air conditioning as well can often be very, very loud in a hotel room, but here it was very quiet, whether it's producing cold air or hot air. And another thing I was really impressed with was the speed of the Wi-Fi, often very disappointing even in a high-end hotel. But here I was getting speeds of about 75 to 80 megabits per second for downloads and a really impressive 45 megabits for upload. And that's very important for someone like me who's always producing videos like these. I uploaded a 10 gigabyte video in about 20 minutes yesterday and another one a similar size a few days before, so I'm very pleased with that. Breakfast is also a highlight here. Now, unlike some fancy hotels I've stayed in Japan, there is only one main restaurant for breakfast, but it's absolutely huge. And like those other hotels, you are probably going to have to queue up a little bit in the morning for it, especially depending when you turn up, or do that sneakiest of things and hopefully recognize someone you know who's already seated and might be willing to share their table with you. And once you are seated, you'll be asked whether you want a coffee or a tea. And unfortunately, again, like other big breakfast buffets, you may be waiting a while for that to arrive. There are absolutely loads of staff all running around, but they're matched by the huge number of guests who are all wanting to eat and drink at the same time. So do bear that in mind if you're in a bit of a rush. But the quality of the food and the variety of food is absolutely fantastic. It's roughly divided into 2 sections, one devoted to Asian food and the other devoted to more Western food. For me, highlights from the Western side were the Eggs Benedict bar, but there's also chefs who will make fresh paninis for you and eggs in any style that you're after. Meanwhile, on the Asian side, there's some really nice fresh sushi. I had a delicious fish curry. A lot of dishes that I wouldn't normally have at breakfast time when I'm back home, but really, really, really good. There's a huge baked goods section, fruit, yogurts, juices of every description, everything that you could want. So if it's included in your room rate, definitely go for it. And if it isn't, do consider it, because if it's around the $20 to $30 mark, I think you're going to be getting good value for money. And just before I go, a quick shout out to the staff who, without exception, were incredibly helpful, friendly and polite at all times. Now that is something that you'd hope for in a hotel of this class, but it isn't something that you always receive in practice. So well done to whoever is employing and training them. You've done a really, really good job there. And that marks the end of my stay at the ANA Intercontinental, because now my business is over. I'm on my own budget, so I'm moving into the APA over in Akihabara, and I've got a video all about that if you want to see the contrasting style of a budget Japanese hotel room, but one that is equally perfectly formed, and I'm actually really looking forward to going over there. Thanks for watching. Let me know what else you'd like to see on the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.